All right, so I want to talk about some rules when setting appointments with us here at Zero Down Solar. Rule number one, no same day appointments ever. We have our schedule already set from the night before for our agents, so it's just too difficult for us to be able to do a same day appointment. The other thing is we want to act as if we are super busy, which we are anyways, but we want to act as if we're busy, that there's so many homeowners taking advantage of this that we don't have, just unlimited time to come meet them at the drop of a hat. Kind of just like the same thing, if somebody's going into a club, sometimes it's not completely full, but they create a line outside so there's an image and people want to be able to get inside. They want to know what it's all about. Okay, so with that being said, no same day appointments ever. Next day appointments are fine. Make sure you're asking all the questions if setting a next day appointment. We do have a quality assurance team. We will listen to each and every appointment that is set. So if you miss anything, we will contact the homeowner before going to the home. Also, you must state that we normally do a confirmation call. However, because we would be scheduling this appointment for tomorrow, we would not have a confirmation call. Now, our energy consultant's time is very valuable and they're very busy, so I want to give you our number in case something changes. And please be courteous enough to give us a call if you need to reschedule. So you can confirm the appointment right then and there, give them our phone number, just make sure that it qualifies so that we don't have to do double work and give them a call again. All right, no one-leggeds ever. If you're not sure what a one-legger is, that means that you're talking to the husband and he's trying to set the appointment without his wife or vice versa. We never set appointments without the other. There's multiple reasons for this. The biggest important reason is that we're very busy. We don't have time to go out there, do a presentation, and then for them to say, well, I need to talk to my husband or wife. Then they have questions. They want us to come back out to the home. It's multiple trips. We want to be able to answer both people's questions at once. And lastly, it's the easiest way for when we're out there in the home for them to be able to tell our representative, well, I need to speak it over with my spouse. All right, it's the easiest objection. It's one of the hardest to overcome if they are not there. So absolutely, no matter what they say, they can say I've made every decision in my life without my wife or spouse or my husband. It's our company policy that all titles on the home, everybody on the title of the home needs to be present for this because there are incentives involved. We do have rebuttals and objections for this. This is something that we do not have flexibility on. The questions in the script, the questions in red must be read verbatim. Now, what I mean by verbatim, you don't have to say exactly every single word to the T and all that, but we want you to ask the questions as closely as possible. Sometimes I have some representatives that might say something like, oh, you have a beautiful home there, so I just assume you must have a credit score over 680. Is that correct? Well, at that point, you've made the person feel uncomfortable about the question, so they might just say, yeah, I have a credit score over 680. The reason that it's stated now, because we would be installing the system at absolutely no upfront cost to you, we do require that the homeowner have a credit score over 680 or higher to qualify. Would you say you do have a credit score over 680 or higher? Now they know if they have a credit score that's 680 or below, they won't qualify. Okay, there's a reason for us asking the question. All right, same thing with income. Oh, you have a beautiful home there. I assume you have a household income over 40,000. Would that be right? Well, who wants to admit that their income's below 40,000? All right, but again, if you say now to qualify for some of the incentives, you do need to have a household income of 40,000 or more. Would you say you're above or below 40,000? Again, they don't want to waste their time. They don't want to waste your time. So if they're below, they're probably just going to admit at that point that they're below. All right, but if you try to assume the answer, you can put the homeowner in an uncomfortable situation and maybe they just go ahead and answer in a positive affirmative way when in reality they don't, and in reality they wouldn't qualify. So make sure that you ask the questions in red the way that they're stated. All right, so no Sunday appointments, rerun appointments Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays 10 to 4, around their schedule. Do not set appointments more than 7 days out. If somebody wants something more than 7 days out, just please schedule a callback for yourself for like the couple days before, and then schedule the appointment. This helps cut down on cancellations and extra work when we go out to try to confirm the appointments. Also set the appointments for a 45-minute window. Sometimes our reps get tied up in traffic, or with a previous appointment goes longer if they decide to move forward. So if a customer chooses 1 p.m., just let them know we'll do our best to be at the home at 1 p.m. But sometimes we might get caught up in traffic, so just make sure the homeowner is not on an absolute time crunch. All right, so it must be the homeowner that you set the appointment with. We've had some representatives talk to a son or daughter of an elderly parent. We've had some people set an appointment with, a father that lives with, their son or something like that, and they think that their son might be interested. At some point, the homeowner must talk to us to let us know that they're the interested party and want us to speak with them. All right, we do have an age limit. We do not tell the people over 75 years old. This is for multiple reasons. Number one, we don't want to look like we're taking advantage of the elderly. Number two, solar is a long-term investment, so a lot of people at that age might not benefit from the savings. All right, if you get the impression that the homeowner may be older, please ask them. Just say, now energy savings happens over time, so if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? All right, if they do say they're above 75, maybe, okay, are you married? Yes, okay. Just wondering, how old is your spouse? If they have a spouse that's under 75, then we can continue to move forward. All right, the credit must be 680 plus. Doesn't matter if the person makes $1 million, but their credit is 500. They do need to have a 680 credit score to apply for the program. All right, you might get somebody that's unsure of what their credit is. So at this point, you need to ask the following 3 questions, not one question, not 2, not partial of 2 out of 3. You have to ask all 3 questions. And those are, have you had a bankruptcy, foreclosure, short sale, or loan modification in the last 5 years? They must say no. Have you missed any payments to any creditors that you can remember in the past 12 months? They must say no. Is there any reason for you to believe why you have a credit score below 680? It must be no. Once they've said no to those 3 questions, I say, well, fantastic. I don't know what your credit score is either, but based on what you've just told me, I would assume that your credit score is above 680. All right, and then the last thing is income must be $40,000 or more. And you might run into somebody that doesn't want to give out their finances over the phone. So please just state, look, I just want to make sure this would benefit you. If you do not have an income of 40,000 or more, you would not qualify for some of the incentives. So I just want to make sure I'm not wasting your time. So would you say your household income is above or below 40,000? All right. If they're unwilling to give you the information, if they're trying to take power and control of the conversation, you need to take it back. You can't go without asking these questions and affirming them. All right, no matter what they say, hey, I'm not going to tell you anything about my finances, blah, blah. I would just say, hey, I completely respect you, for not wanting to let me know what you make over the phone. If you ask me, there's not really anything I can do with that information. I really just want to make sure that this would benefit you before, we go into any great details of what your savings could potentially be. We just want to make sure that we wouldn't come out to the home, show you all this great savings, you try to move forward only to find out that you wouldn't qualify. So that's the only reason I need to know if you have a household income of $40,000 or more. If you just keep taking that approach over and over and over, either they're going to tell you or they weren't serious about setting the appointment anyways, and they're just using that as an excuse to get out of setting an appointment. All right, there might be other things that I'm missing on this video, maybe some things that'll be added, but just know to listen to the customer. Ask all the important questions and listen to the customer, and make your best judgment if you feel like it's a good qualified appointment.